Hi, this is Rick Bice with Bice Fit Exercises on behalf of Edmonds Park and Recreation. Today we're going to go through a circuit training class. What we'll do is we'll alternate between strength training exercises for the muscles, bones, and connective tissues, and then cardiovascular exercise for the heart, lungs, and circulatory system. What we'll do, it's all timed, so what we'll do is we'll do a minute on an exercise. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll do another minute on the same exercise or something very similar, and then we'll move on to the next exercise. So I'll call all those out as they happen. What you'll need for this exercise program today is a chair over here, maybe some light to medium dumbbells, and some resistance tubing or band. Maybe light or medium, whatever you have on that. With or without handles, doesn't matter on that. We will begin with a warm-up. We will go through the exercises, then we'll finish off with a cool down and then some stretches at the end. This is all at your own pace, so we strive for a minute's worth of work. If you need to take your breaks, quicker than that, or if by the end of the minute you're not tired or fatigued, you could just go straight through that break that we have. So it's all up to you, the kind of resistance you use, whatever works for your body. Make sure your surrounding area is clear, that you've got room to move around, arm's width sort of stuff at least. You have a proper footwear for the floor that you have. If you've got slippery hardwoods, make sure that you're wearing good shoes that aren't going to slip and slide. If you've got thick carpet, making sure that your feet aren't going to get, isn't going to get caught on the carpet or something and trip you up. So just being careful. All right, let's begin. Okay, let's start our warm-up. Just moving around, nice and easy. So remember, the warm-up is just to get the body ready for more activity. How vigorous that activity is will be different for, depending on what kind of workout you're doing. We're just looking to get the blood flowing throughout the body, bring in oxygen, nutrients, flushing out the whole system. Getting the lungs stretched out a little bit, getting the joints greased up, everything kind of just ready to go. Again, not vigorous. This is pretty easy. You may break a light sweat by the end, after about 2 minutes or so. We got about a minute and 10 seconds left. Whatever works for you. Walking in place, a little bit of marching. If you've got an exercise machine available, rowing machine, treadmill for walking or something, stairs, anything like that. Maybe you've walked down the block or just come back from a walk, that sort of stuff. You'll be warmed up real well. Get your breathing up, your heart rate up slightly. That way, it's not a shock to the body once you start moving, especially when we get into our first cardiovascular, where we will be trying to get the heart rate elevated more so. Here, we're just getting ready for the strength training part, moving the limbs through some different ranges of motion. Again, whatever works for you for your movements. 10 seconds. And if you need to warm up more, just pause, take your time. All right. Okay, first one we're going to do is a sit to stand. So grabbing your chair. All right. So I've got mine sitting on a mat. I don't want this chair moving around on me. I got a slick floor and pads on the chair to make it move easy, which, works great in general life. But when I want to sit down and get up, and I don't want this chair accidentally sliding back to where I could sit down and miss it, that's why I have this pad under. So making sure it's a nice solid chair, something that's not going to tip or tilt on you or move on you. All we're doing basically is just taking a seat on the chair and standing back up. You can sit all the way, fully back every time, or just sit and barely touch your rump and stand. Either way. So I'll go a minute here. Nice and consistent. Feet are about hip to shoulder width apart. Toes maybe flared out slightly. Head and chest are going to face forward. You're just sticking your rear out and fully committing to sitting down. Again, whether you put weight on the chair or not, up to you. If you just barely want to touch and then stand, it's going to be more of a challenge for the legs. Trying to keep your weight a little more on your heels and always breathing. Slow it down if you need to, or speed it up. Just make sure you're in control and that chair's not going anywhere in between your sit and your stand. Always controlled. All right, take a break here. So we got 30 seconds. Catch your breath, get the burning subsiding from your legs. Here we're working quadriceps, front of the thigh, and then glutes in the rear. Those are the main movers. Abdominals, torso, everything has to stabilize as you're doing this. But the main movers, legs, hips. Alrighty, 5 seconds, we'll do another minute. If you want more resistance, grabbing on some dumbbells or a kettlebell or something to add a little more weight to you. All right, taking a seat. And let's begin. Again, nice and easy. Making sure your feet are planted well. They don't have to move from the ground. If you have a chair that's a little lower to the ground, it's going to be more of a challenge as opposed to a higher chair. Or if you're on the taller side, this may be a little easier on a regular sized chair. Remember to breathe, face forward. Head and chest are always facing forward. You're not leaning over or anything. Okay, always just facing forward. If you need to counterbalance yourself a little bit, arms in front helps. All right, nice job. Okay, so move your chair out of the way and grab your resistance tubing. Resistance band, resistance tubing, whatever you got. I'm going to use this guy. Don't need any handles with this, so you can take the handles off if you are able to. Otherwise, you will have to just have them dangling. So here we're looking at chest flies. So standing up nice and tall, bracing the core. Only thing moving is the shoulders. Elbows are going to be pretty straight. This tubing goes around your back at armpit height. Arms are going to be straight, and you're just going to open up wide and close. And again, elbows are maybe just a little slight bend, but for the most part, they're not going to move. Really all on the shoulders and the chest. Open up nice and wide and close all the way. There you go. Already 30 seconds in here. Again, nothing moves except the upper body. So just bracing the core, keeping everything tight. Looking good there. Nice firm grip on your tube or your band. You don't want to let go or have it slip and whack you or something, right? I got little metal carabiners here too that would hurt if it whacked me, so got to hold a nice tight grip. All right, take a break here. So looking at resistance wise, different tubings of course will give you more resistance if they're thicker or stiffer. I can reach back further, and now it's tighter as I straighten the elbows. Okay, if it's too tough, then I'll reach a little further this way, so I have less resistance as I push out. Okay, so adjust that resistance to whatever works for you. Again, make sure you got a good firm grip. All right, and here we go. Second set, another minute here. Again, firm grip, dry hands. You know, if your hands are sweaty, easy for this to slip out and then it's whacking you, or maybe slapping against your wall and putting a dent in there. So again, nice and firm grip. And hands and arms will be at about chest height here. Working the pectorals in the chest. And then we're also getting some front deltoid in the front of the shoulder. Triceps are having to do some work holding this band straight. Triceps are the back of the upper arms. And then all the forearm and gripping muscles having to hold this. And then stabilization, of course, the core and spine have to keep you stable so that you can do this. Almost there. All right, well done. Okay, so next exercise, you're going to keep your tubing. If you have something with handles, or put your handles back on, that works pretty good. If you don't have handles, don't worry about it. I'm going to switch to this guy here with some handles. All right, so we're going to do a bent over fly. This is going to be with a single arm. Okay, so singles. So we'll do one side at a time. You can switch back and forth anytime you want, but I'm going to try for a minute on one side and then go to the other side. So stepping on the band, find a spot to where a little bit of tension at the bottom, but then you're able to get to the top. Add a little less tension here. You're going to lean forward, hinging from the hips, and then bring your elbow back. Try to give you the best view here. This sort of motion here. So I'm going to hinge forward from the hips, keeping my back straight. And then this motion here. I don't have to use the handles. I can switch this way. That way I'm more palm forward, thumb up position. So you don't have to use the handles. You can always reach down here if you want to. Find a spot that works. But one arm at a time. We'll go back, up and back behind you. Whatever your range of motion allows. Again, pretty light on the resistance. Trying to really lean forward. Good weight on that foot, lunging forward here. I'm trying to go backwards, up and back, squeezing my shoulder blade toward my spine. All right, take a break there. So now what I'll do is I'll switch to the other side here. Step on the band again. And let's see, I can, does that show better? This sort of motion here. Again, find just the right spot on that band where you can stand and go backwards. All right. Light resistance on this. Working the upper back muscles between the shoulder blade, also the rear of the shoulder. Let's begin here. Really trying to lean forward and keep that lean. You're hinging forward here. I could also switch if I want to switch legs and stand with the opposite leg. Kind of see whatever works best for you, what's more comfortable. Squeeze the shoulder blade together. And palm will either be down or forward. Elbow will be straight for the most part. And just leaning forward. The more you can lean forward, the better. Keep your balance. And 10 seconds. Almost there. All right, take a break. Or actually, next exercise. Nice job. All right, so we're looking at a cardiovascular. All right, so getting rid of your bands. Making sure you've got some room. You've given yourself some room to move around, just like with the warm-up. And you can start right now, or there's about 23 seconds more until the transition here. Cardio, basically just the same as the warm-up, just more vigorous, okay? Now you're actively trying to get the heart rate up higher. get your breathing up higher. You still want to be able to talk. So in my case, if I'm wheezing and I can't talk to you guys in the mic while I'm doing this, then my heart rate, my breathing's up a little high, and I'd want to slow it down. So use that talk test. If you could talk to somebody in the room next to you and be able to hold a conversation, okay, then your breathing heart rate is where you want to be. And I want to make sure you guys can hear me. So I'm not going to push too hard on things so that you don't just hear me wheezing into the microphone and not able to communicate. Whatever movements you like. Again, you can follow what I'm doing or something different. I'm just trying to consistently move to get the heart rate elevated. If you've got, a set of stairs or just one step or an aerobic step, stepping up and down can give you some work. Maybe you want to walk up and down the hallway, or if you got some space and you have a jump rope or, rowing machine, elliptical machine, something like that to jump on real quick. Just a quick start just to get you moving really fast. Not worrying about calories or putting in your heart rate, that sort of stuff, because you just want to get on and get moving. Cardios would be about, 2.5 minutes or so, 2 minutes, 20 seconds of straight movement. And then we'll be on to 3 more strength training after that. If you've taken dance classes or aerobic classes or martial arts, sports, incorporating any of that sort of stuff in your cardio, again, just to get you moving. If you have any injuries to work around, of course, listening to your body, with whatever movement the injury incorporates, whether it's muscle or joint. Just being more careful, slowing things down if you need to. Remember, you can always pause and adjust things if things are going a little fast for you. All right, about 5 seconds. Keep moving, almost there. Get that heart rate up. All right, well done. Okay, grab a couple dumbbells again. This one is a standing exercise. I'll do these ones. All right, so what we have here is the heel raise with the shrug. So shrugs, we're gonna go up with the shoulders and down. Just letting the arms dangle. Firm grip, dry hands. Elbows are just dangling and straight. Shoulders go up as high as you can, up to your ears and down. Heel raise is going to be up on the toes as high as you can and down. Up on your toes and down. All right, let's start up here. So what I'll do is I'll alternate. So I'll shrug, heel raise. You can alternate back and forth, or you can do it at the same time. Same time is going to be a little tougher on the balance. All depends on your balance and your coordination. Just nice and controlled, nice and consistent. Does not have to be fast. And again, just watching that balance. Dry hands, firm grip. Don't want to dump these dumbbells, right? 20 seconds. There you go, looking good. Up and down. If you don't have dumbbells, a couple gallons of water, that sort of stuff with the handles may work. Find something that works for you. All right, take a break there. So we got about 30-second break. If you're using something that's other than dumbbells, make sure that it's not going to fall apart. Handle's not going to pop off a milk jug or something. Things are not going to shift on you inside. If you've got a jug of water that's half full, just being careful of what you're using. If it's not, solid dumbbell or kettlebell, something made for this. All right, so in position again. All right, here we go. Another minute. So alternating back and forth. Started with the heels that time. So here we're working in the calf muscle, the gastrocnemius, back in the lower leg, and then upper trapezius, kind of the main mover here on the upper part, between your shoulders and your neck, your shrugging muscles. And then core and spine, hips, everything has to stabilize. Forearms and everything have to grip the dumbbells. Remember to keep breathing. 15 seconds. And again, whatever stance is comfortable. I mean, you could have your feet together, a little tougher on the balance, okay? Having a little wider is going to be a little bit easier for balance wise. At least hip to shoulder width apart. All right, nice job. Okay, let's grab some dumbbells again. Smaller ones if you have them. If you just use some larger ones for the shrugs, now we're going to use some smaller ones for the shoulders. So if you have smaller dumbbells or soup cans, things like that, good time for this one. So the L raise, think of the letter L. All right, so this is a shoulder exercise for the deltoids. One side is going to do a front raise. Okay, now you can either do palm down or palm in on this. Okay, this is part of your L, just going parallel to the floor, elbow straight, up and down. Okay, the other part is the side raise, to the side. Okay, and again, palm can be forward or down, whatever works for you, just going parallel to the floor. So I'll put this together. It looks like this. Think of like a letter L. So bracing the core, whatever stance gives you good stability. Dry hands, firm grip, and just think about this and with your coordination. If you need to piece it out, that's fine. And do one or the other. You can also alternate if you want to do one side. You don't have to do them at the same time. It's all up to you, depending on what works for you. So here we're getting deltoids. On the side, we're getting middle deltoid a little more. On the front, we're getting front deltoid. About 8 seconds. If you're feeling like your coordination is really good, you could switch back and forth. All right, take a break. So switching back and forth. So if I'm doing this, and then switching back and forth like this. Okay, as opposed to the second set, what we'll do is we'll switch, or I will switch, depending on what you did. Maybe you'll switch too. Okay. So depending on how your coordination, how your balance is, you could alternate back and forth between sides, or you could try for a minute, one side, and a minute the other side. A couple more seconds here, get a little break. All right, let's start again. So now I've switched, so my arms are doing the opposite exercise of what they did last time. So one side is front deltoid, the other side is middle deltoid. L, think of a letter L. Not that your arms are different lengths, like a letter L, I suppose. There you go, just parallel to the floor, controlled, no momentum. The only thing moving is the shoulders. Bracing the core, do not want the hips moving at all, right? The only thing moving is the shoulders, 20 seconds. And again, if you tire out, you can always switch to where now I'm alternating. So I'm going to get a little less repetitions in, but I'll still be able to move consistently and finish out that minute. Or at any time, grab something lighter or heavier if you need to, whatever. All right, nice job, well done there. Good isolation on the shoulder muscles. Okay, so now what we're doing is something on the back, supine. So if you have a yoga mat or something, now would be a great time to set that out. If you're on carpet, you're probably all right. So supine meaning on your back. All right. Make sure the mic's all right. Okay. So land on your back, supine, hook lying position. So knees up, feet flat, low back is on the ground. Slight curvature in that low back, like normal when you land on your back. what we're going to do is pelvic tilt. So we're going to flatten that low back curve. So what I do is I rotate my pelvis forward, low back flattens out and pushes firmly into the ground. Not pushing with my legs, this is all in the hips. Hold that position for a couple seconds and then I can relax. What I do is tilt back, hold that position, a couple seconds, 2 or 3 seconds, 5 seconds, and then relax. If you want more work, hold that longer. So 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever works for you. Bearing down on those abdominal muscles as you're doing this. And then relax. So what we'll do is we're going to add a march to this. So now, when we pelvic tilt, pelvis goes forward, low back goes back. I'm going to take and remove 1 foot off the ground. Take a break if you need to. And then I'm going to march. So if you need to just do 1 foot at a time, as opposed to back and forth marching, that's up to you. And then take a break. So we tilt and hold, and then start adding some marching. And of course, you take away one of your feet off the ground, makes it a little bit tougher for the body to stabilize. Tilt and hold. All right, about ready to start up if you need to. Tilt and hold. And then get a couple marches in. Or hold the whole time and march the whole time. If you can maintain that pelvic tilt while marching, keep going for it. And then if you need a break, take a break. Remember to reset that tilt and start marching again. And the feet are just coming off the ground a little bit. You're not having to march very high. Maintain that tilt. Tighten those abdominals. And take a break. Tilt and hold. Keep going. Almost there. All right, nice job. Well done. Okay, so clearing your spot, getting rid of your yoga mat, whatever you're using. Lights blinding a little. All right, so we got a cardio next. So clearing out your spot, making sure you're not getting any kind of lightheadedness or anything from getting up. And then you can get going right away, or you can wait a little bit. We've got about 14 seconds till the official cardio starts. Great time to grab some water if you need to. All right, here we go. Two minutes and 20 seconds. Get your breathing up, get your heart rate up, whatever works for you. If you've got a punching bag or something, you can do that, of course. Jump rope. Just some consistent moving. That's it. I can see myself in the camera here on the screen, so I kind of know what's around. So, being careful if you're walking around or moving, you may not be able to see quite as well what's around you. Watch out for those coffee tables, the walls, couches. Making sure you're picking up your feet so you're not catching them on carpets or rugs. Make sure house slippers or whatever are not too slick for your wood, hard floors or tile floors and stuff. That you've got appropriate footwear. About 1 minute and 15 here. Keep moving. Speed things up if you need to. If you're having lower body issues, taking a seat and just using your arms. Maybe doing some punching. Just some forward punching. Something consistent. A little bit of rotational punching. Uppercuts. Jabs. Okay, just play around a little bit, whatever gets you moving consistently, even if you've just got to take a seat. About 35 seconds. Keep moving. Almost there. About 5 seconds. Keep going. Don't stop. All right. Nice job. Well done. So next thing we got is the figure 8 squat. So grab a dumbbell, one dumbbell, probably a smaller dumbbell. Kind of depends how long your arms are, how long your legs are. This one's a little weird. So a nice wide squat. Feet are wide apart. Probably, wider than hips and shoulders. Toes are going to flare out slightly. When we squat, we're going to take a seat. Weight's going to be a little bit more on the heel and the arches. We're going to, head and chest are going to try to face forward as best you can. The low back is going to be straight, as opposed to, we don't want this sort of stuff. We want this, okay? And then what you'll do is you're going to figure 8, pass this dumbbell around your legs and stand back up. Take a seat. Pass it behind you, and then around and behind, and then stand back up. Okay? So again, how low you go is up to you. Trying to keep your rump backwards, like it's being pulled back and down. Whoops. Trying to keep that balance, right? Nice and easy. Head and chest is going to face forward as best you can. A little tougher to keep good form when you're passing the weights between. So do your best. Nice, easy. I've got a small, 5 pound. It's easy to kind of grab the bell part. The bigger the weight, the harder it's going to be to grab. So just kind of play around with what works for you. You can do this with kettlebells. Just kind of, your torso is going to twist and move a little bit side to side as you go to grab that. Take a break there. Again, remember, it depends on how long your arms and limbs and stuff are. I'm on the shorter side, so it takes a little bit more work to get this around through the legs and stuff. So do what works best for you. Even if that means maybe you just come down here and then pass it and then tap yourself in the back of the rump. That sort of stuff. Just kind of play around with stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be the figure 8, whatever works for your body. Okay? And breathing like usual, always breathing. Never holding your breath. Okay, let's try it this way. I'll do a little front view. So nice and wide, taking a seat, and then just kind of reaching and grabbing, sitting back up, standing back up. How low you go is up to you. Weight's going to shift a little bit side to side, depending on which side the dumbbell is. You may notice a little bit of weight shifting on the legs. But really stick that rear out. Weight goes back to your heels a little bit more. And trying as best you can, keep head and chest up and facing forward. Keep that low back straight. Almost there, 20 seconds. This one's a little more of a full body exercise. We're getting a decent amount of low back and core stabilizing. Thighs and the rear are doing quite a bit of work. And then a little bit of shoulders, back and chest, having to help out. All right, nice job, well done. Okay, take a break there. We've got about 30 seconds. Next we have is the ladder climb. So you can do this with or without dumbbells, smaller dumbbells. But what we'll do is this sort of motion here. Palms are going to face in, maybe forward a little bit, and then marching. And you can do it just alternating back and forth. Same leg, same arm, or opposite leg and arm, doesn't matter. Okay. We're working deltoids here, front and middle in the shoulder, some tricep in the back of the arm, and then a lot of hip flexor, front of the thigh. All right, so let's get in position here. Again, with or without dumbbells, whatever works for you. Rack the dumbbells right here above your shoulders. Elbows are down, and then up here. So if you're using dumbbells, see how my hands never go below my shoulders. Okay, I'm not doing this. Okay, everything is up here the whole time. Think about if you're grabbing the next rung up on the ladder. above your head, and you're stepping up on the next rung of a ladder. Nice and controlled, okay? Nice and slow. You want to keep continuous, but you don't want to get going too fast. We don't want momentum involved. We don't want to lose your balance either. So nice and controlled. "12 seconds. Keep moving. Good grip, firm grip on those dumbbells, right? All right, take a break there. Shake those arms and shoulders out. So good work on the hip flexors, front of the hips, and then shoulders, of course, are getting some good work with that shoulder press. You can play around, elbows out a little bit more. Gets more of a military press. A little tougher to do with this one. Probably easier to keep those elbows in more. It's going to focus front deltoid a little more. All right, 6 seconds. Let's get back into position. Grab those dumbbells, dry hands, rack them right above the shoulders in the front, and here we go. And we're off. Slow and controlled. Same arm, same leg, or alternating, whatever your coordination allows. If you're having balance issues, maybe just the shoulder presses for a little bit and then marches a little bit. Piece them out. Don't try to do them at the same time. It all depends on what's comfortable and safe for you. A little bit of burning in those shoulders right now. Over halfway there. We got about 23 seconds left. Slow your repetitions up if you need to. And how high you march is up to you. You can also adjust the range of motion on the elbows. If it bugs you to punch up too high, then just keep those so the elbow doesn't go higher than the shoulder. Play around with the range of motion there. All right. Nice job. Okay. So we got one more strength training exercise. Get rid of the dumbbells and grab your resistance tubing. All right. Tubing or band, whatever you're going to use. So with or without handles, you're going to bring this around and behind you. So if I'm going to work, say, this arm, the right arm, okay, work the right arm, I'm going to grab it up here, elbow straight up in the air. I'm going to go diagonal and bring the other side down to the back and side of the hip. This is my anchor down here. I'm going to anchor, and then I'm going to bring this forward. Okay, this sort of motion here. Now got to adjust this a little bit. So what we're going to do here is over the shoulder, straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. So I've got it anchored at the hip on my left side. It goes diagonal up and over my shoulder, between my neck and shoulder. Elbow is going to point forward, and then I'm just straightening and bending the elbow. Straightening and bending. Got about 20 seconds left. Here we're working tricep, so back of the upper arm. Getting a little bit of work on those shoulders and deltoids, having to hold that arm out there in front. Brace the core. Give yourself, a good stance. Anchor that. Where you grab on this is up to you. If I pull a little tighter down at the anchor part and stretch that band a little more, it's going to give me more resistance. So just kind of play around with that. Let's take a break here, 30 seconds, and then we'll do the other side. You can jump back and forth, between sides, or try it for the whole minute. So now what I'll do, opposite side. I'm going to anchor with the right arm down at the hip here, and then bring this diagonal to the opposite shoulder. Straighten that elbow up, then bring it in front of me. And then from there, then I can start bending and straightening. All right, let's begin here. Good stance. And of course, remember, how much you grab on this band is going to determine how tough it is, or how thick and tough the band is to begin with. But if you have, if all you have is a lighter band and this is too easy, then just grab a little bit, more on that bottom part and pull. So now it transfers a little bit more resistance up through the top. And that band is just going to kind of rub back and forth. Hammer press. Okay, tricep hammer press as if we're, as if you're hammering something. Palm is facing in the whole time. Almost there. All right, nice job there. Well done. Okay, getting rid of the tubing here. We've got our last cardio. So again, you can get going right away, or you can take that 30-second transition, grab some water. Sorry for the big slurp. Okay, I'm gonna get moving here right away. Do a little bit of front heel taps here to start. And we add a little bit of front punching. So one more time to spike up this heart rate, get it up nice and high. Enough that you cannot sing, but you can talk. All right. Now, if you really want to focus on cardio in this class more so than the weights and strength, sure, then use this to really push into a high target heart rate, whatever that is for you. 80% of your max or something. But if you just want to keep the heart rate elevated throughout the whole class, burn some good fat calories, then just keep it a little lower heart rate, so a little easier on the cardios. All right. A little bit of side tapping, combing my hair here, sides of my hair. There you go. Always think, try to think good posture for the most part. Up nice and tall, breathing. All right, do some low grabs here. Grab and pull, grab and pull. Just a little bit of rotation here. Whatever's comfortable for you for your rotation. If you're having spinal issues, make sure it's nice and controlled. Maybe a little slower, a little less rotation, a little less bending, whatever you need to do for your body. And now I'm going to really rotate and grab opposite, about chest height. Really twisting the hips. I'm allowing my feet to pivot. Keep moving. We got another 50 seconds, so push it hard. And we got a little bit of cool down after this. So we'll spend a couple minutes cooling down. So push that heart rate. Get going a little faster here. To the side. Get up a little higher. And I'm going to grab and pull. Grab and pull, grab and pull. Up even higher. Go back to a side step. Grab and pull. And back to some bicep curls. Hammer curls here. Okay, so nice and easy. Now we go on to 2 minutes of cool down. So the opposite of the warm-up. Get nice and easy. Let's just go back to a march. We actively want to get our heart rate down below 100 beats per minute. So if you're counting and checking heart rates, 100 beats per minute or below is deemed safe for a cool down to be done with the workout. If your heart rate's up, above 100. So we got about 1 minute and 30 seconds. Let's do a little bit of heel walking. So see how my toes are up in the air. I'm just going to walk around kind of whatever space you have. Walk forward and backward, whatever works for you. We're just trying to get the heart rate back down, so some gentle moving. Now I'm going to walk on the toes a little bit. A little bit of balance with this too, of course. Getting some calf muscles going. I'm just trying to get the heart rate down, and you do what you need to. If that means just marching in place slowly, or maybe your heart rate's already down and you're ready to go. It all depends. Everybody's different. So again, nice and easy. A little marching here. All right, I'm gonna up and over, like a stepping over logs. A little bit of balance work here with this one. Controlled, nice and slow. We're still moving, allowing our body to cool down, allowing the blood to circulate through the body and not pool into the large muscle groups. Couple more. Looking good there. Sleeping dogs or lying logs, whatever you're stepping over. Excellent. Okay, just keep marching. All right, nice job here. Okay, so we're going to start a little bit of balance here. We got about 2 minutes of balance work. We can do that on a single leg, so grab a chair if you need something to hold on to, or standing next to a wall or a window sill. What we can do here is a single leg balance, just balancing on one leg. Okay, and just try to hold that as long as you feel comfortable. If you need to put a toe on the ground, or catch yourself a little bit, or maybe a finger on the wall or something, whatever works for you. If this is too easy, then swinging your limbs a little bit, closing one eye, closing both eyes will adjust how tough balancing is. If you have a ball that you want to bounce and catch, or throw on the wall and catch, that sort of stuff. Okay, let's try the other leg a little bit. And you may notice one leg's a little easier or a little tougher than others. So this is kind of the basic one, just kind of a static hold. If you want to play around and move a little bit, you can do a sleeping dog and then hold 3 seconds. Sleeping dog, nice big step, hold for 2 or 3 or 5 seconds, whatever, and then a nice big stepping over the dog or log, holding, step over, hold. Okay, a little bit more dynamic work here, moving. Okay, so we got about another minute left of balance work. Let's keep stepping over. All right, let's try a little bit of work here, heel to toe. So I'm going to start way back here, and then I'm going to heel to toe walk. Try not to look at my feet or anything. Okay. Now, how much you do this is up to you. As far as when I'm doing this, if I'm on a tightrope, real skinny tightrope, and my feet are actually touching, that's going to be the toughest. Okay. If I want, I can make a little bigger step where the feet aren't touching, but I'm still in a tightrope. Or maybe I'm staggered slightly to where I'm doing this, but feet are a little more side to side. Okay, so kind of play around. The wider the feet are, the more base you have, the easier the balance is going to be. Okay, so this is going to be pretty easy, right? As opposed to if I'm even in a little closer, even just the width of my foot on the outside gets a little bit tougher. So play around with the balance a little bit, different things, down if you got a hallway, next to the wall, that sort of stuff, whatever works for you. Challenge your balance and catch yourself when you lose your balance, but be safe about it. Okay. All right, nice job. We're going to finish off with some stretches and then we'll be done. So first one here, this sort of motion. I'm going to bring the leg out straight in front. What I want to do is stretch the back of the thigh back here. So I'm going to hinge a little bit at the waist. I'm going to sit slightly, and I'm going to dig the heel in on that front leg and try to stretch the back of the thigh, behind the knee, maybe in the calf and rump a little bit. Nice and gentle, holding that stretch. Good 20 or 30 seconds. Excellent. Let's try the other side here. So nice and easy, digging that heel in. Just stretching out the back of the thigh, behind the knee. Okay, head is going to be neutral. Try not to lean over too far. Try to keep that head above your heart. Try to relax that leg that you're stretching. And no jerking, no bouncing. Really make sure it's a static hold. Okay, and breathing. All right, nice job. Let's try another one. So here, that pelvic tilt we did on the ground. Now I'm going to thrust the hips forward, squeezing the cheeks together, straightening out that low back like I'm pelvic tilting. Interlace my fingers, look at my palms, And then I'm just going to push the hands away from the body as far as I can. Try not to hunch the shoulders. Try to relax the shoulders. And I'm just going to push out. I'm going to round out the middle and upper back. Low back is going to stay more straight. Keep breathing. You're going to get a little stretch in the forearms, in these extensors here in the forearms. Keep breathing. Looking good there. Again, head just stays neutral, looking at your fingers. All right, one more stretch here, looking at the chest. So chest, fronts of the shoulders. Here we're going to go kind of a field goal position. All right, so elbows are bent. Elbows are parallel to the ground. I'm going to bring the elbows backwards. The arms and the elbows are going to go backwards. I'm squeezing the shoulder blades together towards my spine. If you want, you can start bringing those hands in behind the head, behind the ears, and really bring those elbows back. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Expand the chest, expand the torso, elongate yourself, leaning back a little if you need to. And now straighten those elbows. Palms are up, thumbs are back. And really reach back as far as you can. Squeezing those shoulder blades together again. Trying to stretch out the front. Now I'm going to dip my fingers down, bend my wrists backwards. I'm going to get a stretch in the wrists and the forearms there along with this. And hold that position. Head stays neutral and breathing. All right, nice job. Okay, shake it out there. All right, that's all we got today. I hope you enjoyed the workout. Well done today.